Hey everyone, thanks for watching. We've got a really exciting show for you today. I have a friend that I've been watching for a while who's doing just amazing things, and I've been tracking him down and finally got him on the show. How you doing this morning, Joe Dillon? How are you?
Hey, Michael, I'm doing great, my man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm glad we were able to put this together. Why don't we just jump right in and just give a shout out to all, tell everybody what you're doing, what's going on in your world, because it's really impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate that, man. And by the way, we we're finally able to get on this, man. It's been a crazy madhouse. It's been hectic. It's I'm in the building phase of my current business, which I'll get into in a second. But yeah, so right now, currently in the process of systemizing my business. So essentially, what I'm doing right now, man, is I have transitioned. So I built a multi-million dollar wholesaling business with a partner. I built that, and I spent the last 4.5 years of my life building that.
Mhm.
But I recently sold my ownership of that business, and now and the reason I did that is because I wanted to pursue coaching full time, right? And so that's what I do now. So right now I help other investors and wholesalers, that are doing anywhere from 0 deals a month to 2, 3 deals a month, maybe sometimes even more, right? But that's typically where I am at. And I help them scale to doing 5 to 10 deals a month and beyond that, right?
Yeah.
And so, I've been there, I've done that, right? We were in 5 different markets, right? We were, operating at a multi-million dollar level. And yeah, I've learned so much, you know what I mean? And even though we were only in it for about 4.5 years, I've learned those were an intense, heavy 4.5 years where we had all kinds of mistakes, all kinds of errors. And we did a lot of testing and a lot of trial and error, a lot of testing and seeing what worked, what didn't work. And so, now I'm passing that knowledge on to others and just really helping them scale. So that's
Yeah.
kind of.
And what's really attracted me to your story is, first off, you've made the decision to give back, right? You were very successful at what you did. The numbers speak for themselves. You could have been selfish and just kept at it, and not even had to grow anymore, and you would have done just fine. But what you
Yeah.
said at some point, you had some internal monologue or internal talk that said, "Okay, enough's enough, right? I've got mine. I could sell what I have because it has value." But then you had to say, what else could I do, right? So how did you get to, what? I think I want to coach people, right? I'm going to stop
Yeah.
doing, and I want to coach people, because that's different, right? You're talking to people that haven't done anything, or maybe 1 or 2 deals, and you're used to doing 30 or 40 a month.
Right.
What made you take that leap?
Yeah, so man, about 3 years ago now, we hosted our first event, right? Kind of like a boot camp, right? Event, right? Similar to what the events that I host now, and that event changed me,
Okay.
right? Because I was able to. That was the first time in my life I think that I impacted people on such a deep level,
Hmm.
both on the business and in life, right?
Yep.
And on the personal side. And so that event changed me for sure internally, and I didn't, realize that that was in me, right?
Ah,
And so really it started there, right? And
right.
the interest started, so really, really piling up. And so, and it started growing. And so, that really, really started to, like I said, it started to grow over the years. And so I got to a point where I realized I really wanted to do that, right? And I was doing it for other people, just like, here and there, just mentoring them, coaching them, and assisting them, telling them what we're doing. Um, and it was awesome. It was just such a great feeling, and it was awesome to be able to pour into somebody else's life and their business like that.
Yeah.
And what's really awesome is I love doing it with like-minded people that are business owners, that are entrepreneurs, that have had success already, and they just want a little bit more guidance, specific guidance, maybe systems, strategies, processes on how to actually scale this thing.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I love working with those type of people, and that's who I work with. So,
Yeah, that's
um,
that feeling you got is addicting, right? When you can impact somebody from across the table, like at the boot camp, and you go, you can not only see the change in them, but the change in their business, and then ultimately the financial impact after that. It's an amazing feeling, and I can see why, you know, people get addicted to that. So congratulations.
thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's I think for what I think it's like that for a reason, right? I think like giving back makes us feel good for a reason. I feel like maybe it was placed there so that we could help each other. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
And so, yeah, I loved doing what I do. And you know, some of the messages that I get, there was, you know, the testimonials that I have. It's just, it's amazing. It's amazing because it's like, it's life-changing stuff, right? Because not only can it provide a completely different future for somebody that hasn't operated a business that's operating, you know, essentially by itself and is producing a lot of revenue. But again, I every time I coach, every coaching call that I'm on, I always start with personal development, you know, and how they can grow as human beings, right? How they can grow, you know, as a community, how they can grow as leaders, how they can really up their mindset, you know, really develop spiritually, right? A lot of different things that I go over. And so, you know, I have a very well-rounded, I would say, coaching. And so I think that's a lot of the reason that people are really getting a lot of amazing results.
Yeah, and I've seen it. I've been following you for a while now. But for the people that don't know you, let's brag a little bit about Joe. You know, talk about your 4-year run, right? You started at, you know, year X and you did Y, and then your business with your partner got to how big before you said, you know what, I want to fill my cup some other way.
Yeah. So joined up with him. So he was already running the business. He started the business, and you know, it was at, you know, it was a certain level, right?
Yeah.
And then you know, I was flipping cars at the time, right? I've always been an entrepreneur, right? I've had, you know, multiple different businesses. By the time I was, you know, 21, I had you know, 2 different businesses already, and you know, so I've always been an entrepreneur. I was flipping cars at the time, and then came about this. We linked up, and you know, we really aligned on the vision for the business, and we started really making some major things happen together, right? We blew up the business together. So but yeah, so you know, we started with cold calling, direct mail, right? I remember like we were dialing cold calls. We would do it with like single dial with our cell phone, right? And then our other partner, his name is Daryl, but he was like, dude, like we should probably make this a little bit more efficient.
Yeah, probably.
And we were just calling off of Excel sheets. We were literally calling off of Excel sheets. And like, man, I remember those days, but it was awesome. It's like, you know, we really had to build the entire operation. So we closed a few deals. We took a step back, and we really started to go, you know, gung ho and systemizing the business. It was a little scary, right? Because there was, I think, 3 or 4 month period where we didn't get any deals.
Yeah.
Right. And we were doing this full time, you know? And so, of course that's scary to anybody, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh shoot, like what's going on here? And so what we did is I remember there's this guy. So basically after, you know, 4 month period, there's this guy that I was just calling, right? So we were all doing everything, right? There was no systems, there was no like delegation, like there was no division of labor, like everybody was kind of doing everything. And that was kind of like the first year, right?
Yeah.
And and so I remember I was calling this guy like nonstop. Like I was obviously not calling him like 5 times a day type thing, right? But like, you know, after I think I hadn't talked to him in like a month, but I was still calling. I'm still following up because I remember his name was Reggie Pegram. I remember that he was like kind of had like a defeated attitude. Like he was defeated and he just didn't want to pick up the phone. And so I knew, like, I called him from different phone numbers, right? Because I wanted to help him out because his property was going to be foreclosed upon.
Right.
And he thought that there was nothing he could do about it, right? And so I still remember that one deal, right? And just like we were our bank account was about to hit zero, and then like boom, like that came out of the woodworks, and I think it was like a 70 grand deal.
Nice.
And he actually ended up getting us 2 more properties other than that one. I think 1 or 2 more properties other than that one. I'm trying to remember actually, but anyways, so. It's kind of how it started. We were driving for dollars all the time, cold calling and stuff like that. So, we got smart, right? So we closed those big deals, and we take a step back and systemize the business a little bit more. Got a dialer, right? So we were using at the beginning we were using Callfire, and I don't know how we landed upon that. But we were using Callfire, dialing 3 at a time. And so, yeah, I mean, it was that's basically how we started, and really, really learned so much that year. We hired mentors, we learned how to really systemize and structure the business, right? We read the book Traction, and we really, started to scale from there. And we found the right people. We got the right people in the right seats, right? Because before, we always had a strong vision for the company, and so, and so we were able to get people to be on our team with all commission, right?
Yeah.
We had a really strong, compelling vision, a good culture, right? Young millennials, right? Usually, mostly everybody there was under 35. And so, because of that, we were sorry, somebody tried to open the door here. Most everybody was under the age of 35, and so kind of a good culture there, right? Cool office, stuff like that. So, yeah. But we ended up finding our core team, right? And commission didn't really work out in the long run. So we ended up finding our core team. We ended up getting good people, hiring good people, because we went through a whole series of not bad people, but just people that weren't right for the position. and so we did that. We made all types of hiring mistakes. We had marketing campaign flops and errors, and all types of culture mismatches. The deal analysis and inconsistencies and things like that. All types of errors and things that we did. So, but yeah, so we were able to really scale that when we structured the business. We hired mentors. We found a book, right, Traction, that really helped us structure the business. Yeah. And it wasn't until we structured the business that we really exploded.
Right.
And so,
okay,
made 7 figures that next year in 2015, and we pretty much grew ever since, right? And so we replicated that, right? We found a proven model. Yep. We replicated that in another market. At least we tried to. So the first market that we tried to go into is Baltimore, but we first it was okay, but it wasn't like a phenomenal return, right? Okay. And then we really got that core team together. Like I said, we were doing a lot of traveling. And we came down here to Tampa. We met some people here in Tampa, and one thing after the other, the next thing we know, we're here investing in Tampa, and that completely exploded because we had the right people, and so it was great. You know what I mean? So,
let's paint the vision of right before you sell your portion of the business, right? So it goes from you and a partner kind of doing everything, grow through the 7-figure number, which is awesome. What's the team look like? How many employees? How many directs? How many markets? What's it look like before you go, okay, here's my portion, I'm going to go do something else? How big did it get?
Yeah, absolutely. So, so you're saying from the time that we moved. Right. Okay. So let me finish the.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What I was saying. Yeah, no worries. So basically, in DC, we were in DC, right? So that's where we started investing in Tampa. And Tampa was going well, and we actually ended up deciding to move here.
Okay.
To Tampa, and, uproot the employees, like bring the
Oh,
office here.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like, we had a few employees that followed us and everything. So then from there we were, investing and continuing to grow the business. And, we had a really cool office here in Tampa. And yeah, so we just started really growing from there. And, added a few more markets. And, we had, I think, about 14 or so people by the time I left.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, it was great. It was phenomenal. So we had, basically us two, and operations. Like I was the integrator, so he was, basically managing all the operations.
Yeah.
But I was director of marketing, right? So like, just managing all the marketing, making sure that goes out, underneath that marketing assistant, right, which is a virtual assistant. I had a virtual assistant, pretty much like right-hand woman virtual assistant as well. Then he was the director of acquisitions. We would have, about 3 acquisition people under him, and then, cold callers as well, right? And then we had probably anywhere from 5 to 6, I think, boots on the ground, right? Whether they're here or whether they're, in their markets. In the dispositions department, I was the director of transactions. So like as soon as we got properties under contract, I would decide what we would sell them for, and disposition basically everything. So we had under me, we had a transaction coordinator, we had a dispo rep, and that was pretty much the business, man. So it was pretty exciting.
So okay. Yeah. So you get to this point, you finally work it out. You move a little bit warmer in Tampa, I'm guessing, than DC. I'm guessing it's
warmer. Yeah, I love it.
It's a little. So I mean, so you get to this point. At least it feels like, outside guy's opinion, it's on cruise control, making a good living, but yet you feel this other calling that was sparked 3 years ago.
For sure.
How did you rationalize that yourself, right? You're going from a spot where you're making, I'll just call it a good living, and it's relatively certain, to, hey, I'm going to go try something brand new, build something from scratch, and I'm going to be happier. I mean, you had to have this internal challenge, I guess. Yes?
100%. Yeah. Like, the business still needed me.
Yeah.
Like it needed me full time. So, we were still in heavy growth mode,
Yeah.
We were doing really well, right? But, it still needed me to get to where it was headed. And so I realized, like, okay, it's going to have to be one or the other,
Yeah.
And so, we were actually going to be partnered as well on the coaching stuff. We were going to work together, but, didn't end up working out. But, but so I realized that I just absolutely had to, pursue this calling, because I knew that's what I needed to do. Right. Okay. The whole path was blessed, and I had a mentor that was kind of guiding me through the whole thing too. And it was, I have a spiritual mentor, and basically like the whole path was just blessed by God, like 100%.
Very cool.
And so we like there was just sign after sign after sign, right? And obviously it was scary, but not in the sense of like, oh, this, I'm going to go out and do my own venture, because I've done that, multiple times because I'm an entrepreneur. But it was more so scary in the sense like, all right, I'm leaving all this behind.
Yes.
And I'm again from scratch, But I knew that was my freaking calling, right?
Yeah.
And it was tough. It was tough. So when I exited, it wasn't easy, right?
Oh, sure.
Because it was like leaving behind everything that I had. But I knew that this is what I was supposed to do, and so I pursued the calling, and I stayed the course, right?
Well, yeah, I think we're all going to be so much better off for it, because frankly, you gave up a lot, at least income, right? And some people watching this are going, Joe's an idiot. Why would you give up X amount of dollars a month? Well, it is that calling, right? Sometimes we get in a position and you have the opportunity, you just have to say yes. And that's what you've done. And there's going to be so many people that you can do this coaching thing for the next 100 years or however long it is, because you've been there and done that. So why don't you give a taste for what your coaching is, what you call it, obviously, and what it is, because I think more people need to hear about it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, so basically, I work, and by the way, I appreciate you saying what you said. It definitely wasn't easy. And
Yes.
what I will say to that before I answer your question is, for me, it got to a point where the money wasn't worth it. Right, the money wasn't worth me putting my dreams on hold.
Yep.
Okay, and could I have been in a better financial position? Maybe, if I had stayed.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Would I be anywhere even close to the passion, the energy, the impact that I'm having right now? Not even close.
Nope.
It's literally like a drop in a bucket and like a full overflowing 50-pound bucket. Like that's how much the difference is.
Agreed.
So I was able to step into that power, right? I was able to step into that seat, right? That level of responsibility and say, okay, all right, this is completely 100% how I am going to make it. And so, it was it's so rewarding. It was so rewarding. And I know that because as soon as I stepped out, I was so blessed. I was so blessed with so many amazing clients. And I literally had to stop taking on clients because the demand was there. Right. And so, it was amazing. And so, all right. So this is what the coaching looks like. So I help, like I said before, in case you missed it, I help, I work with established investors, investors that, wholesalers that are already doing deals. Like I have, most of the people have usually been in the business for, over a year, maybe, I have some clients that have been in the business for 15 years. And they still, right, even though I've only been in the business for 5 years, they still learn so much, right? I have a client, he's freaking phenomenal client, awesome dude as well. It's actually a couple, actually. So Joey Banks is here in Tampa. But yeah, he's been in the business for 15, 16 years, and he did, I think, $450K last year. He did that this quarter.
Oof.
And he credits my coaching. So that's the power of this stuff, and why do you think that makes me feel? That's amazing, And so basically, kind of going back to your question. All right, so this is what my coaching looks like. I have a program, and like I said, I help active investors scale to 7 figures. I give them the systems, the processes, the tools, the operations. I give them everything that we had to build our business, right? And it's literally I'm still shoot. I've raised the price, I think 4 times, and I'm still dang, I'm not charging enough for this, because the value is just so there, you know what I mean? And nobody even disputes that. And so anyhow, so basically, I have a program that I can definitely talk to anybody about if they're interested in. I also have an event here in Tampa. I have an event May 10th and May 11th where I'm just going to be going really deep into all the processes, all the systems, step by step on what a 7-figure wholesaling operation looks like. So
if you were to, I think this is a traction term, your avatar or your target for this is somebody's been in the business. Maybe they're a one-man show, small shop, doing a couple of transactions, but they know there's another level. And if that's the case and they're looking for that, they look you up.
100%. Yeah. So I would say most of my clients, my average client, on the low end, I'll basically tell you guys everything, but basically on the low end, I would say, the only time I ever take on people that are new to wholesaling, let's say, is if they've been in real estate for a long time, right? So I have, 4 or 5 rehabbers that I'm coaching on, because obviously they know how to close properties. They know, they know the title companies. Like they're not brand new into real estate, right? And so like, it's not like teaching somebody brand new. I don't take on any newbies that are like brand new to the business.
Right.
I don't take on any of those. The only time I take on new people is if, again, they have a lot of real estate experience, or for whatever reason they have a lot of capital, so that I can basically direct how to invest those funds, right? How to allocate those that capital. So, most people have no structure, no system. Some months are up, some months are down. I'm a one-man show, right? That's what a lot of them say. That's where a lot of them are. And so I teach them the roadmap to scaling, and I literally give them a delegation roadmap. Nice. So it's like, all right, here's who you want to hire first. Here's who you want to hire second. Here's who you want to hire third. This is what it looks like. This is when you should hire. And so it's a very, very comprehensive, comprehensive program.
So and I think it's called Elevate Coaching. Is that right?
That's the name of my company. I'm in the middle of deciding what to brand.
Okay, fair enough.
So the name of the program though is 7-Figure Wholesale, right?
All right. Sorry.
So it's 7-Figure Wholesale Blueprint, which is the event, and it's 7-Figure Wholesale Mastery, which is the coaching. Got it. So it's 7-Figure Wholesale, and they can check it out at 7figurewholesale.com.
7-figure, the word or the number?
The number. Yeah. So the number 7, figurewholesale.com.
That's awesome. So again, 7figurewholesale.com. Check it out. Both the course and the event. The event May 10th and 11th, right? Do I have that down?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. May 10th and 11th here in Tampa.
Very cool. How many people are you expecting? Like 20, 40, 100? What are you thinking?
So we usually I like to keep it intimate. So usually no more than 30. It might be anywhere from like 20 to 30 this time.
Okay.
I really like to keep it intimate, so that so that people really get to know each other. Like we get really deep during these events as well. Like people really, develop bonds and relationships. It's really
very cool. So I'm curious on this one. If you put on your little crystal ball or look to the future, where do you see taking this thing in 3 to 5 years? Because what you have is valuable, and it's only going to get more valuable as people look to control their financial future.
100%. Yeah.
What are you looking at doing? You're gonna like create little mini me's, or what does that look like for you?
Yeah. So basically, all right. So basically, what I am looking to do in the future is I'll basically tell you the roadmap of how I plan to scale this thing. So, I love coaching, right? And I love coaching real estate, but I'm even more passionate as I progress spiritually, as I progress just as a human, as on a personal level. I'm so freaking passionate about pouring into somebody's personal life in any way that I can. So I'm still going to continue the real estate business. I think just from a business owner perspective, right? I'm going to automate this business as best as I can to where like I'm working probably less than 15, 20 hours a week.
Okay.
And I've developed a program where that's possible while still providing amazing results, right? And so if you're interested, let me know. You can hit me up or hit Michael up. But so I've developed that program. But where I really want to take this thing to is and by the way, real quick, just as far as real estate goes, I'm going to be jumping back in the game so I can stay current, right? And so I can, implement a lot of new strategies and things like that. So that's going to take a little bit of my time as well. But in the future, probably later this year, if not early next year, I really, really want to pursue my diehard passion, which is I just want to have like a personal development movement. Right.
Okay.
And so I think that could be a lot bigger than both the real estate business and the real estate coaching business. And that's my passion too, and nice. I'll be able to impact so many people, because I'm fine. Like I'm looking at the world that we live in today, and I see so much anxiety. I see a lot of depression. I see a lot of people that are comparing themselves constantly. Self-esteem is at like an all-time low. It's nuts. Like we as a human species, we're going through something that we've never ever gone through before, and that's access to so much information. All right, and now with social media around, it's like access into other people's lives.
Yeah.
What they think is other people's lives, not knowing that that person is just has the same issues that you do, right? Has the same problems that you do, but you don't realize that, you don't think that. Therefore, you're comparing yourself, and you feel worse about yourself. And so it's really common among my generation, right? And so especially in the entrepreneurial world, I feel that like the entrepreneurs are really good at chasing.
Yeah.
But they're not really good at understanding why they're chasing.
Ah, okay.
And so a lot of times like that can lead to constant like urgency mode, and constant like, oh, I have to do great, or else I'm not going to feel good about myself. Whereas on the contrary, it shouldn't be like that, right? Like you should feel good first. And because you feel good about yourself, right? Because you respect yourself, because you are self-aware, because you love yourself, then you want to grow, because that's what feeds you, right? But it's not like, hey, I need to grow because otherwise I won't feel good about myself.
Right.
And so that's really big on the entrepreneur and the entrepreneur society, right, in the world. And that's just an example, right? And so that's kind of my goals for the future. So I imagine having like somewhat of a Tony Robbins type of company,
okay,
where like I'm speaking to thousands of people and just impacting people around the world. So
that is awesome. I look forward to watching you continue that journey. It's going to be fun. So as we wrap this up, turn it over to the guest. Always, you can share whatever you'd like, how to get a hold of you, hit your website again. What do you want to leave the people with?
Yeah. So like, I realized I didn't really get into anything too specific as far as content. So like I've actually done 3 podcasts in the past 2 weeks. And, I definitely want to leave you guys, in case you didn't catch any of my other podcasts, but I definitely want to leave you guys with some good free content as well. So just to give you guys some free stuff, right? Because a lot of people go on these podcasts to get some free knowledge. So one of the things, like, okay, so I'll basically tell you how I structure it. So like there's three departments to a wholesaling business, right? There is a marketing department, right? And the whole purpose of marketing is to generate leads, right? And I'm finding so many people right now, they're like, okay, where do I go for leads? How do I get more leads, right? That's the big thing. It's like, how do I get more leads? And I have actually I've really dissected the shit, excuse my French, out of this business, right? I've dissected this business like a lot. When I left, right, I had a lot of time, right? I was completely free. So I dissected this business as much as possible. And I broke it down to 13 major factors that can contribute to you having inconsistent deal flow. Okay. And 5 of them are in the marketing department, right? 4 are in acquisitions, right? Which acquisitions is as soon as the person calls in, says, hey, I'm interested in selling, boom, that's where acquisitions takes over and tries to convert all those leads into a contract. As soon as it becomes a contract, then that's when the dispositions department takes over and tries to sell it to an investor, right? By the way, my program is called 7-Figure Wholesale, but even if you're not wholesaling, even if you're it's really for anybody that's trying to get off-market deals themselves, right? So even if you're buying properties yourself, you're taking down properties, but your main source is yourself, right? Is your own deals. And this is also for you. So, so that's the marketing, acquisitions, dispositions, right? So I teach people how to get the best buyers fast, how to get hundreds and hundreds of cash buyers, active cash buyers, a whole process. Like I give them scripting for, how to sell their deals as quickly as possible and as high as possible, and how to get the most out of each deal, how to squeeze all the juice out of it, right? And I also, on the acquisition side, teach people how to talk to sellers so they're beating out their competition, how to build such incredible rapport in such a smooth way that that they don't want to do business with anybody else except for you, right? And then on the marketing side, so I'm kind of going backwards, right? Dispositions, acquisitions. And on the marketing side, I teach people how to create a robust marketing plan so that they never have a lack of leads. Okay. Because it's all about consistency when it comes to leads, right? And cost-effective marketing. So I really dive deep into that in my event, where we talk about like what are the best lists to hit, right? From what different angles do you hit them, right? From what channels, right? And how to create that robust marketing plan so that, again, like I said, they never have lead inconsistency. So if you have your leads, right, it's kind of like a funnel, right? Like a flow. If you don't have good enough, if you don't have consistent leads, you don't have quality leads, your only chance of closing deals is this much right here, right? Well, if you have, and then on top of that, if you don't have a good acquisition skills, then that funnel gets even lower. On top of that, if you don't have a good buyers list, then you're freaking capped out right there, right? And this is what your business looks like. Where if you create a robust marketing plan and you can amplify the amount of leads that are coming into the office, and you have an incredible acquisitions process, a good lead management system, a good lead follow-up system, right? You're going to retain all of this, and you have a great dispositions process, a high cash buyers list. Like, it's going to go through all the way.
Yeah.
So I have a very systematic mind, as you can tell. So I help all of my clients with that, and just create a badass just operating machine that's working without you, that will work eventually without you. So
that's awesome. So where would again, they just go to Seven Figure Wholesaling or Wholesale?
Yeah. So there's two different ways that you can get a hold of me. One, you can just reach out to me directly, and that's on my Facebook, right? I'm sure you're gonna tag me on this podcast, so you just click my name, Joe Dillion. Secondly is Instagram. Go follow my Instagram. I give a lot of free content. Okay. My Instagram is Joe Dillion, JoeDillon official. Okay. So Joe Dillion official. And I actually just launched a YouTube channel. So I'm super excited about that. Hang on. Let me see if I can grab, I'm going to grab the link to that. I'm sure you can just search Joe Dillion Coach on YouTube.
I'll put it in.
Yeah, and you can find it. Actually, if you want to just hang on, I'll find it for you right here. How do I get to the... Boom. Okay. Yeah. You can search Joe Dillion. There you go. Whoops. So Joe Dillion, Real Estate Empire Builder. And yeah, you can just go there. Or you can search that on YouTube and I'll pop up. I also have the link. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah, send it to me and I'll add it. I'll definitely add it for you. No problem.
Boom, there you go. And then lastly, so that's how you can reach out to me directly. I just launched a YouTube channel, so I have a bunch of free content on there. That I'm going to be posting consistently 3 or 4 times a week, 5-10 minute videos, how-to videos on how to scale your business. So enjoy that free content, guys. But if you want the freaking fast track and you're ready to go, and you're ready to invest and really, really change your life this year, then go to 7figurewholesale.com, 7, the number 7, figurewholesale.com. And yeah.
Joe, thank you, man. This has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we got this on the books. You are just talking to you makes people smile. So I appreciate your time and thanks for all you're doing.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on here.
You got it. Take care.
All right, Michael. See you later, brother.
Bye.